Welcome to you, Mother Trekkers. This week, we've got a double dose of flash fiction for you.
That's right.
Think of this pit stop as your fast track to some serially compelling short narratives that you, our listeners, flagged as needing a closer look. You were after quick bursts of storytelling with a punch, and we've got two tales ready for you.
Exactly. We've sifted through the submissions and landed on two flash fiction stories that, while brief, offer some fascinating avenues for exploration. Kind of meaty, even for short pieces.
Okay, first off, we're heading straight into the cosmos with Cosmic Castaways. Imagine a group of students aboard the space station Arcadia when suddenly an anomaly rips them out of orbit and throws them into an uncharted universe.
hmm
Your task in this pit stop is to consider how these young, unprepared individuals grapple with a situation that redefines the word impossible.
Yeah, talk about being thrown in the deep end. Then we're bringing things back to Earth, though no less perilous, with our second flash fiction story, Break or Be Broken. This one dives into the familiar yet volatile territory of youthful dares. It's a story about a pact to confront fears that takes a dark and unexpected turn, revealing the enduring impact of a single fateful night. We'll be examining the psychological fallout and the way one event can fracture the strongest bonds.
Okay, so let's jump straight into our first pit stop, Cosmic Castaways. You're there with these high school seniors on the Arcadia space station. The usual routine of classes, simulations, maybe even dreaming of a home planet they've only seen in pictures.
Yeah, the normal stuff, relatively speaking, for a space station life.
Then this anomaly hits a shimmer of wrongness, as the story puts it, which right away sets your teeth on edge. Suddenly, Earth is just gone, vanished, replaced by a sky full of completely alien stars.
And what's immediately striking is the absence of any adult authority. The grown-ups disappear, along with any connection back home and, the established protocols. Suddenly, it's this senior class who are left to fend for themselves,
Yeah, just kids.
facing critical life support failures and the sheer psychological weight of being utterly alone in an unknown cosmos. These aren't hardened space explorers. They're just kids thrust into the ultimate survival scenario.
But here's where it gets interesting. These are kids who've grown up on a steady diet of science fiction, right? So while the initial panic is definitely there, it quickly morphs into what the story calls this grim determination.
Right, it's like they almost have a framework, however fictional, to process it.
Exactly. It makes you wonder about the influence of those fictional narratives that ingrain human will to survive as they try to make sense of something completely beyond comprehension.
Precisely. And we see the emergence of these two central figures. Ben, the engineer's son, and Maya, the overachiever.
Yes, Ben and Maya.
Ben is practically a one-person repair crew, jury-rigging the failing systems with whatever salvage tech he can get his hands on, driven by what's described as sheer bloody-mindedness, just pure grit.
Totally. And Maya, on the other hand, throws herself into trying to understand the anomaly readings, clinging to the almost certainly futile hope of finding a way back.
Yeah, back to a home that, likely doesn't exist anymore, or at least not where they left it.
Now, just when you think the situation couldn't get any more surreal, they encounter alien life.
Okay, yeah, this part.
But it's not the stereotypical little green beings. The flash fiction story describes the alien crew as beings of shifting light.
Shifting light.
And their communication is even stranger. It felt more than sounded. Think about that for a second. A completely different way of interacting, bypassing spoken language entirely.
How do you even begin with that?
Yeah.
It's fascinating here how it challenges our assumptions about communication itself. It's not just about translating words, it's about a fundamentally different mode of perception and interaction.
Totally different.
And the gifts they exchange are equally peculiar. A star map etched onto a meteorite, a plant that sings instead of producing flowers.
A singing plant.
Right. These aren't your standard diplomatic tokens. They hint at a universe far stranger than anything we can easily imagine.
It really paints a picture of a universe brimming with the unexpected, doesn't it? And their journey continues to throw these incredible curveballs.
Yeah, the story gives these little snippets.
We get these brief glimpses of other encounters, friendly traders, with technology that seems almost like magic. A desolate planet emitting this haunting, wordless sound.
Oh, creepy.
And this utterly bizarre moon colony built on the fossilized remains of a colossal alien creature. It really underscores the sheer scale and unpredictability of their new reality.
And within all this wonder and, let's be real, potential danger, a central conflict begins to emerge, as you pointed out.
Right, between Ben and Maya.
Maya remains fixated on the idea of finding a way back home, even as that concept becomes increasingly abstract. But Ben starts to be drawn to the possibilities of their new circumstances. He sees the potential for discovery, for forging something new in this uncharted expanse.
This fundamental difference in perspective leads to a really significant turning point, the splitting of the group.
Yeah, that felt heavy.
The story portrays it almost as a betrayal, a fracture within their already fragile community. You can feel the emotional weight of that decision, these two groups venturing off in completely different directions across the vastness of space, each with a different vision of their future.
But the narrative doesn't conclude there, and this is where it takes another compelling turn. Months later, Maya and her faction spot something familiar amidst the alien constellation's Ben's ship.
But it's different.
Exactly. Except it's been radically transformed, augmented with all sorts of alien technology. It's a testament to Ben's resourcefulness and his willingness to embrace their new reality.
He adapted. And when he contacts Maya, the animosity seems to have faded. There's just this cautious anticipation. He simply says, found something.
So simple, but huge implications.
And the coordinates he transmits point to a blue-green planet teeming with life. It's not Earth, but it offers a chance, a new beginning. The flash fiction story beautifully concludes with the idea that they've transitioned from being cosmic castaways to explorers. What does this tell you about how our understanding of home can evolve when the original is lost?
Well, it suggests that resilience isn't just about enduring, but about the human capacity to redefine our circumstances and find hope in the face of the unimaginable. It highlights that fundamental human drive not just to survive, but to actively seek out new possibilities, even when everything familiar has been stripped away.
Right, becoming explorers instead of just survivors. Okay, let's make a sharp turn now and head to our second pit stop. Break or be broken.
Okay, buckle up. This one's intense in a different way.
This flash fiction story takes us from the cosmic to the intensely personal. We're introduced to 4 young individuals, Sarah, Ben, a different Ben, Lily, and Max, and the setting is a rooftop overlooking the city. There's an immediate sense of youthful restlessness and a craving for something beyond the ordinary.
You can feel that energy, yeah. And at the center of it is Max, the instigator. He's the one who declares they're getting old. Driven by a fear of a life that's predictable and uneventful. He's pushing for one last adventure before they supposedly get weighed down by the responsibilities of adulthood. He's the catalyst for this pact they make.
Hey, Pact.
And so begins this series of dares. They start relatively harmlessly, climbing an abandoned water tower, sneaking into the zoo after hours. But even in these early acts, you can sense that underlying thrill, that almost rebellious energy, that feeling of defying the mundane.
But as the flash fiction story unfolds, the dares escalate and there's a noticeable shift in tone. They move from playful acts of rebellion to something darker, more perilous. This culminates in the decision to explore the abandoned factory, a place already shrouded in unsettling rumors, not just talk of ghosts, but the very real threat of dangerous individuals, junkies, runaways.
Yeah, the stakes get real fast. This is the crucial turning point, isn't it? The night in the factory. The atmosphere is thick with a sense of foreboding, the usual thrill replaced by genuine fear.
You feel it coming.
And then Sarah screams.
Yeah.
But it's not a playful shriek. It's a sound of genuine horror.
Yeah.
They discover a young girl lying still and lifeless.
Chilling. And the reactions of the group in that moment are incredibly revealing, exposing the core character of each individual. Ben's immediate reaction is to call for help, showing a fundamental sense of responsibility.
Right, the instinct is there.
Lily freezes, her camera still in her hand, becoming a silent observer, capturing the unfolding tragedy.
Kind of detached almost.
And then there's Max, whose reaction is arguably the most chilling, his cold, pragmatic decision to simply leave and pretend it never happened. Just walk away.
Yeah. That's rough. What does this tell you about how different people confront genuine fear? It highlights the spectrum of human response to trauma. Ben acts, Lily documents, and Max chooses denial.
Total denial.
The flash fiction story then explores the enduring, unseen consequences of that night. Sarah withdraws, becoming this shell of brittle perfection, desperately trying to control every aspect of her life after experiencing something so profoundly uncontrollable.
Trying to put up walls.
Ben is burdened by guilt, going through the motions of community service, forever marked by what he witnessed. And Lily's photography shifts. becoming darker, more accusatory, reflecting the trauma she silently absorbed through her lens.
It changes all of them, but in such different ways. And Max's trajectory is particularly disturbing. He doesn't show remorse. Instead, he twists the narrative, portraying them as the weak ones and himself as someone who narrowly escaped danger.
It's like a defense mechanism gone really wrong. It's as if the darkness of the factory has taken root within him, not as fear, but as a warped sense of power. This starkly illustrates how confronting extreme situations can corrupt some individuals rather than making them stronger.
Yeah, it broke him differently. The Pact, which was intended to be this unifying adventure, this last hurrah of youth, doesn't end with some dramatic confrontation.
A big blow-up.
It simply dissolves, fades away in the growing distance and the profound inner transformations of these friends. The core insight here is that some experiences don't just test the strength of bonds, they can irrevocably shatter them.
Absolutely. What does this say to you about the fragility of even seemingly strong relationships under the weight of shared trauma and conflicting responses? It's heavy stuff.
Exactly. This flash fiction story delves into the complex nature of fear, the heavy weight of responsibility, and the often devastating and unforeseen consequences of our choices. What does it truly mean to be courageous? Is it about seeking out thrills, or is it about facing difficult truths and acting with integrity even when it's terrifying?
That's the question, isn't it?
And how do shared experiences, especially traumatic ones, truly shape or break the bonds of friendship?
It really forces you to consider the different facets of courage and the long shadow that our decisions can cast, not just on ourselves, but on the lives of those around us.
So there you have it, two very different flash fiction stories for your consideration in this week's You Mother Truckers Pit Stop.
Quite the contrast.
Cosmic Castaways takes us on an unexpected journey of resilience, prompting us to reconsider our definition of home when the familiar is lost, and leaving us to contemplate the boundless possibilities of the cosmos.
And Break or Be Broken offers a stark and sobering contrast, delving into the darker side of seeking adventure and reminding us that some encounters can leave invisible wounds that never fully heal. It makes you think about the true cost of thrills and the delicate nature of human connection when faced with difficult choices and their aftermath.
We hope these narratives have sparked your imagination and given you some serious food for thought. Consider the decisions these characters made and the paths they ultimately took. What would you have done in their shoes?
It's always valuable to reflect on these fictional scenarios and consider what they reveal about our own potential responses to extraordinary circumstances. Good thought exercise.
Don't forget to rate and follow You Mother Truckers for more captivating mysteries from the world of flash fiction. Until our next pit stop, keep those curious minds engaged, and who knows what wild tales we'll be diving into next time.
See you then.
Consider this. What seemingly small pacts or adventures in your own life have had unforeseen and lasting consequences? Something to mull over.